Welcome everybody who's here. I'm Laura from the gameHERs. I'm one of the co-founders, and I'm here with Emma, who's doing our very first event of 2022. Yes. So Emma has an awesome talk about getting a career started in streaming. She's going to tell you about how her awesome career started. So without further ado, Emma, I will hand it over to you.
All right. Hi, hello. Welcome to Starting a Career in Streaming, just one of many lovely events hosted by the gameHERs. As Laura said, my name is Emmeline. I'm a Twitch partner and a full-time content creator or creative professional. I specialize in Let's Plays, in cosplay, and tabletop gaming. I'm super happy to be here and chat with you all about streaming today. One of the first things that I always like to talk about when addressing streaming as a career is to put a huge emphasis on doing what you love. There are so many people out there to watch, right? It's really hard to kind of carve out a little niche for yourself. But I find that when you're playing the games that you're really passionate about, if cooking is your jam and you were just so hyped for it and you're giving it your all, people can tell when you care about things, when you're being authentic, and when you're putting your best foot forward as far as the things that you do care about. It really, really shows, right? I know we've all watched a video or been to a stream where you can tell the individual is not having a great time. You can tell they're either not vibing with the game that's being played or just tired, or following a trend, like for instance, when literally everyone and their mother was playing Among Us, and they're not really having a good time, but they're trying to get on that bandwagon. It makes a huge difference, right? You're just like, all right. And a lot of times people just move on. It makes so much difference if you do what you care about. Play the obscure video games. I had started Mass Effect for the first time, which started in 2007. People play Mass Effect over and over and over again. I had no idea. There's this whole group of gamers who literally have these nostalgia franchises that they just immerse themselves in. People have yearly playthroughs of these wonderful games. And so I was just immersing myself in something that I cared about, even though, I thought it was going to be obscure as heck, right? It's an old game. It's 2007. But because I really care about the characters, I care about the lore, I care about the story and our progression and our spot in this universe, it really translates over. And I have been able to create in literally only a year and a half of streaming. I've become a Twitch partner. I have almost 9,000 people on YouTube, almost 3,500 on Twitch. And I literally had not started even watching Twitch until the year and a half ago. It makes so much difference. So if you don't take away anything else from this whole chat, do something that you love, do something that you care about. That passion can be seen and shared vicariously and enjoyed by other people. All right, so we got kind of a what to stream. So what about when to stream? I know a lot of people agonize over this. I do too. It's really hard to find that ideal time that kind of reaches the best and biggest audience, right? But what's most important is finding something that you can maintain. So if your ideal time is, for instance, if you're a night person and you want to stream it at 11 p.m. and you're like, oh shit, I don't know if people are going to be on or not. Do what suits your schedule. Because at the end of the day, you're going to need to keep this up, right? One of the biggest points I want to drive home, as well as doing what you're passionate about, is consistency. And so even if it's 2 hours, even if it's an hour, as long as you do it once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week, the same time for the same duration, you've got something that people expect. You've got a stream, a time slot that people go, oh, it's 11 p.m. So-and-so's going to be on. I should get online. That makes so much difference. Believe me, you can send out all the social media posts in the world. But if you really just establish a consistent schedule, whatever works for you, because it has to be something that you can maintain, that's it. That's That's what does it. All right. I get a lot of questions about equipment. And I know it's going to sound disingenuous, but it doesn't matter that much. I started out, where is it? I started out with this headset, with this microphone, with my background. I didn't have any of the cool lights or the galaxy projector or my custom neon. I had my room with my Inuyasha poster in it. It was just my shit, right? It was my vibe. People are here for that. Express yourself with your surroundings. It doesn't have to be super professional looking. Yes, of course, it's gonna look nicer, but you'll get there, right? It takes time to get there. So don't stress about your equipment. It will come. Be passionate about what you're doing, and you'll have people who want to be there, and you will grow. You'll snowball from that. Yes, I highly recommend Inuyasha posters. I had to move it into my craft room, but believe me, he is still around. Don't worry. All right. Another thing is, how do you acquire equipment? I started my journey by covering several different platforms. So I started on Twitch. I had been making videos maybe like once a week when I could manage it on YouTube for about 4 years prior to that. So I had a tiny bit of an audience. I had maybe 1,000 people watching my very in-depth, insightful Let's Plays of Dragon Age on YouTube. But I got all of the equipment and all the things that I'm using by growing that little baby audience. Like you just consistency, passion, and slowly over time, I've bought every ounce of equipment I have by donations from stream. I literally had my Elgato, what is it called? The stands with the flexible mounts and stuff on them, because I have a sit stand desk and I have a herniated disc, because streaming a lot will do that to you. Be very good about your health. And I was just talking about it, and people are like, oh my goodness, well, I want you to be able to do these things. Here's $50, here's $30, here's $10. I'm not exaggerating. Those are exact amounts from today's stream. So be vocal about these things. Don't be like, hi, hello, I would love your money, please. But talking about what would be useful to you, why it's useful to you, what benefit it might serve your stream. People care about those things, and they want to feel like they have an impact on the experience that you're sharing with others. Well, we'll get to that inclusivity in a second. But all of that makes a big difference. Also, small key tip, put your donation goal somewhere visible on your stream. I don't have it like there all the time. I have like a chat break screen that I will switch to, and it has it up in the corner. And again, I don't talk about it all the time, but it's up there if people want to like peep it, right? And if it's pertinent, sometimes I'll mention it. But yeah, it's this fine line of being genuine and being open about why this would be good for you, but also not, shoving it down people's throats. All right. So software breakdown really quick, because I know sometimes people want to know these things. I use Chatbot, super easy. I have like a generic stream overlay from Streamlabs, and I use Streamlabs. I don't have a fancy setup. You don't have to go and buy custom artwork, custom overlays. All you have to do is like really imbue that passion, right? Be consistent, and people will come. Now, are these things adorable? Yeah, absolutely. Is it going to look super nice and make you look more professional? Absolutely. But it's not something that I would stress on. If you're worried about that, work towards it if you want to. I know that Fiverr is a good place to get custom stuff if that's what you're interested in. Etsy has like emotes you can purchase, or stream overlays, or cheer motes, or stuff to make your stream look pretty without having to dish out the money for something custom, right? So there are ways to work around that if that's something that really matters to you. Next big topic, how do you engage with your audience? Remember, people really like to feel included. That's why streaming is so popular, because you can watch a YouTube video, but usually people like to leave comments, right? Because they want to feel included in this process. They want to feel included in the experience. So you can have chat up if you want to. I personally don't, because that's my brand, right? I'm really hardcore into the gaming experience, the immersion, especially because everything that I play tends to be very RPG oriented. So you really want to become involved in the storyline with the characters and their development and your relationships with them. And if you're constantly bopping back and forth being like, hey, Lady Leopard, thanks so much for the sub, it kind of distracts from that, right? So do what's best for you, right? I have chat at the beginning of my stream and at the end of my stream, so we can still do that. We can still interact and engage and have a great time together, grow that community, but you're still getting what you want out of it, right? You get the best of both worlds. You get your interaction and you get that sweet, sweet gaming immersion. Now, again, that's not going to be relevant for everybody because not everyone's going to be doing RPG stuff that really kind of requires that immersion to make you feel part of that universe. So do what's best for you, but if you are interacting, commands are good ways to get people involved. So putting like an exclamation mark lurk, an exclamation point, people have games on theirs. There are so many ways. Polls, you can have challenges for the community, which you can go through. This is all stuff that you can do either through Twitch as a platform or through the chatbot software. And channel points, so people can spend these little tokens that they generate by being in your stream. It's all ways to make people feel included as part of this experience. And a lot of that, if they're enjoying it and having a good time using these little games, these little gifts, these extra events that you're putting forth as part of your space, that helps. Sub rewards. Also, what I like to do is I'll have a community challenge. And for instance, like if somebody is really excited about a game, for instance, we had a Halloween stream. And so for what I'll do is for the month, I'll set up a community challenge. I'll be like, well, if we get this many points, mine are called kitten nuggets. If we get this many kitten nuggets, we'll have a Halloween stream where I'll play, everyone's begging me to play Monster Prom. So I'll play Monster Prom, but I'll be in cosplay for it. And if you want, people can be participants in that, right? Depending on how you want to run it. And so that gives somebody something to be excited about, something to use their points on. If they really care, they want to be here more to generate more points to contribute towards that goal. And you can also do sub rewards as in like little events. We had a Pride pool party for Pride Month. And it was like, if you do 5 subs, it's this, and 10 subs is that. People love that stuff too, especially because it's like, it's an opportunity to give back to people. You can use merch. I had stickers made of like the emotes in my stream, or I would sign things. I had Polaroids, and I sew because I'm also a cosplayer. So I like made little rainbow zipper bags and stuff that people care about, right? It's all going to be based generally around what your community is into. But it's so easy to have those events you can work towards to interact more with your community and make them feel like they're a part of something, because that's really the experience that's valued on Twitch. All right. I did want to go over a few things that I have been asked previously in line with this. So I'm going to go ahead and touch on it really quick. Somebody had mentioned to me that they had lots of live followers, lots of live viewers, excuse me, but these people weren't following them. Handy tip. This is also a good way to defeat trolls. Make sure you go into Twitch and set your chat restrictions. So set it to where people cannot chat in your stream unless they've followed you for, I have mine set on 30 minutes. You do whatever you think is best for your community in your stream, but that keeps random trolls out. That helps people be encouraged once you're doing all these other things to encourage interaction. So if people want to be a part of this, they want to interact with you, they got to follow. So I highly recommend that. It's really honestly just to keep you safe too. I know we've all been there. I know we've all had the trolls. Ooh. The other one I got was how to keep a consistent amount of average viewers. This one is just a harsh truth, right? You're not going to. It is so difficult because people are interested in different things. If you're a gaming channel, you're going to play different games, and there's going to be certain audiences for one and not the other. And that's just kind of the way the cookie crumbles. So don't get disappointed. It's not you. It's just kind of life. And you can tailor that by playing things that you think people would like. But I'm going to go back to my initial point and say that you're going to have a much better time playing something, doing something that you're passionate about than trying to appeal to numbers. You're going to get the numbers because people will see how much you care about what you're doing. All right. So we kind of touched on this, cultivating a community, but I want to talk kind of not so much getting one, but maintaining one. So mods, if you feel like that's something that's necessary for you, that changed my streaming experience. I definitely value my mods. They help keep chat nice for me. They keep chat nice for everyone else in chat. Very good. Get you a good mod team. Boundaries. I cannot tell you how many small streamers I've been in like, and watching them, and people are just hitting on them, saying gross things, being disrespectful. And the poor streamer just, you know what we do. We laugh nervously or ignore it, and we just don't acknowledge it. Boundaries are so important. They're so important. If you don't feel comfortable dealing with that, get you a mod who will, because you deserve to feel safe in your space. Those are so important. Discord's great to keep in touch with people outside of stream. And again, social media. Don't run yourself too ragged keeping up with all that stuff, because I know the algorithms are murderous. You have to post 75 million times on every platform every day to stay relevant. It's just not possible. Set yourself up with a schedule. Remember consistency, even if it's not every day. Maybe it's just once a week. Personally, I post 3 times a week on Instagram. I have a reel that goes up on Monday. I have a new post, like new content that goes up on Wednesday. And on Friday, I do a flashback so you can reuse older content. And so I'm really only generating 2 new pieces of content a week. You don't run yourself ragged, and you're appeasing Instagram and its weird obsession with reels. Also, you can slap that on TikTok. Also, good point. If you're going to tackle social media like that, make sure that you kind of set yourself up to create something that can be used on multiple platforms. Will save you a lot of time and trouble. I also get asked a lot about the path to partner. I want to be realistic here. It's not super terribly like common. I made partner in 4 months, and I owe most of that to the fact that I was able to bring my YouTube community over to Twitch. I had people who already watched my stuff, and it wasn't a lot at first. Granted, I think I got really lucky with Mass Effect, because people really care about Mass Effect. I didn't know that before I played the series. And so it's unfortunately just kind of like a weird dice roll sometimes. Sometimes it's luck, and sometimes you just got to keep on trekking. Again, consistency and passion will get you where you want to go. Sometimes it just takes a little longer for that snowball to get rolling. Be patient with your progress. Don't beat yourself up. It's not worth it. It really isn't. You're here to have a good time, right? You're here to share your love of gaming, of cooking, of doing whatever it is you want to do on Twitch. And you can't share that if you're not into it, right? Have fun, don't stress. Stream for you, not others. And a slightly controversial, unpopular opinion: don't spam promotionally stuff. Like, granted, please have your social media stuff. If people are following you, you can be like, hey, I'm streaming today at so-and-so time. Or talking about what you're doing and putting clips of your stuff up on the internet. I find that a lot of the channels and streamers who do the like for like, follow for follow, or they pop in other people's streams, like asking for people to watch their stuff, it doesn't go over well. It is not a good approach. And I know sometimes you're like, oh, I literally don't know what else to do. Find a community of people. Watch Twitch. If you're playing Mass Effect, go watch other people who play Mass Effect. Hop into their streams. Get to know them. It's networking, right? And then Twitch is so good about their little collaborative teams, and you can get with another like great group of women who are doing a lot of the same things that you want to do, a lot of the same things that you do. That's how you do it. Stuff like the gamers. Meet other women who are doing what you love to do, who you can connect with. You aren't asking for follows and likes, or you just constantly slapping literally nothing but your stream link up. I'm not saying don't promote yourself. I'm saying promote yourself mindfully, thoughtfully. Take that care and consideration into how you market yourself. Give people a reason to want to check you out. Because if you just slap a follow for follow, a stream link up there, nobody's going to look twice at that. I know TikTok's all the rage right now. Clips are super popular. The nice thing about Twitch is that people already make clips for you. Use that. Make yourself some TikToks about silly moments in your last Valorant match. It's a little extra work, but I promise you it's going to be so much more worth it. And you're actually going to get traction over, the follow for follow, or worse, going into other people's streams and telling them to watch your channel. Don't do that. Don't be that person.
The first question, I'll help you out.
Oh, thank you.
I'll read you the questions. So what's the easiest way to run a TTRPG on stream?
I break mine up. So you can approach this several ways, right? I like to play more than one game at a time so I don't get burnt out on one title. For me, I have Mass Effect Andromeda on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and on Wednesdays and Fridays, I'll play Dragon Age Inquisition. TTRPGs. Oh, excuse me. You're asking me about TTRPGs on stream, not RPGs. I'm sorry. I'm very excited about Mass Effect right now, and it's literally consuming my brain. TTRPGs. TTRPGs are difficult. The ones that I've done, I have pre-recorded because it's easier for me to do the pretty edits. It's easier for me to add in all the fancy things I don't have the setup for. I'm sure most of us at least know what Critical Role is, right? And they're beautiful setups. And the fact that they have character health bars and these beautiful avatars and scene shifts, and it's overwhelming. It's really hard to compete with stuff like that. I have seen people do it. I feel like it's harder to get people involved in that because it depends on the kind of game you're playing. Sometimes people like really combat heavy TTR tabletops. Sometimes people like really roleplay heavy. Again, if your game is more like Critical Role, it's more entertainment focused, I feel like that's going to be easier to generate views. And that's easier for someone like me because that's what my table looks like at home. My DM is very Matt Mercer, very big on characters, voices, different personalities. We have so many NPCs. And of course I take them all with me because they're all lovely, or date them. You can't play tabletop without dating somebody. But it's hard to translate to a stream unless you really want to focus on one of those aspects. They're difficult because you really want to minimize your white space. When you're at the table, you have to be quiet and let other people take their turn, right? You have to find some way almost to just keep people constantly doing something. And I don't know whether that should be the responsibility of a DM, or if you have a small group, I think it'll be more manageable. You have to be very cognizant as players that as soon as A is done talking, if it's your turn next in initiative, you need to already know what you're going to do. You need to have everything prepped, ready to go. And that's just honestly the entertainment side of it. I feel like that's harder because you do almost have to make it more of a performance than enjoying yourself and having a game. So you kind of have to pick that battle, how you want to approach that. Because if you want to make it more entertainment focused, my assumption is you're going to get more people watching it. But if you're going to you just want to have a very chill vibe and let people do what they want, be on their phone while it's somebody else's turn, et cetera, like that, it's not going to be as engaging and interactive, but you might have a better time. So you're going to have to pick that battle. That one's kind of complicated because it takes so much effort to effectively, efficiently streamline a tabletop game over stream. All right.
Okay. I will continue for you. The next question is making a streaming schedule necessary for success?
I wouldn't call it necessary because I think luck plays a lot of part in this process, right? Sometimes you just have a good reaction comp and you slap it on Reddit. All of a sudden you have like 5 million followers on YouTube. That's what happened to Markiplier. I know he's a handy household name. So sometimes you just do luck out like that. But honestly, if you have to build up organically, yeah, schedules they're going to really help you. Again, you don't have to, because at the end of the day, this is something you're doing for you. If it's going to make you not enjoy it, to stress yourself out over it, then don't worry about the schedule. You're going to have to play that delicate balance of, do I want to try to make this a career, or do I want to enjoy this for what it is? Because you don't have to make everything you enjoy a career. Sometimes it's just nice to have a hobby. And that's another thing that I should have touched on earlier, that you don't have to go to these terrible lengths of like having all these social media posts, having this very like rigid schedule. It doesn't have to be all the time, but like every Friday at 2 p.m. for 4 hours without fail. If it's more of a hobby for you, just let yourself enjoy it. And if a bunch of people show up, that's great. But I wouldn't stress yourself out over something you're not trying to make your profession, right? So just be mindful about what you want out of it. All right, I did have a direct message that I have next on mine that isn't in the general chat.
Sure.
It's how do you fix the lagging issues when you stream? It depends on what kind of lag you're experiencing. Sometimes it's the game. For instance, Dragon Age Inquisition is not very optimized. Sometimes it looks like hot garbage. It's not me. I got a fancy computer, I got good internet, but sometimes it is the internet. Sometimes it is your computer. You can try to adjust, what is it called? Your bit rate. See what your bit rate is. I would honestly do some good Googling, because it also is going to kind of be dependent on what you're streaming. Because if you have like, I think 6,000 is the max. 6,000 is going to be like crystal, but you don't want to do 6,000 if you're not going to be able to handle it with your computer and your internet, right? So it's going to be kind of subjective for you and what you're doing. So try to Google it based on what you want out of it, and there'll be recommended numbers for what might work best for you based on your setup, based on your internet, and based on what you're doing on Twitch. So hopefully that answers that enough. Sorry, it's kind of vague. It's difficult to pinpoint that thing without me knowing more about it.
Hey, next question. How long did it take you to get steady payouts?
Again, I was really fortunate in my journey. Steady payouts, I've always, okay, we should clarify. I think, what is the threshold? Is the threshold $100 for it to actually pay out, if I'm not mistaken? I personally haven't streamed and not had a payout every month. I have a very kind, generous, compassionate community who is just phenomenal. Like, we know we talked about the donations earlier, but I don't go a stream without people just like tossing gift subs at each other. And I'm just extremely fortunate to be a part of a community who are so good to each other. So for me, it was my first month on Twitch. Again, I carried over probably about several hundred people from YouTube. Again, that's not consistent. I don't have that average number in my streams. But there are people who already knew and liked what I was doing, and so they were interested in the content that I was creating on Twitch. Let people know why you're amazing at what you're doing and why it's super cool to be a part of your community and experiencing what you're experiencing. And hopefully that will help.
You have time for more, Emma?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, okay, great. How do you save your game clips on Twitch?
I exclusively rely on clips that other people make for me. Again, I'm really fortunate to have a group of people who are on my Discord every day, who come to every stream, who engage with my content across multiple platforms. And I'm just really lucky to have them. And they make this a whole lot easier because they do a lot of that for me. Now, granted, there are a lot of times if I want something specific, like I just made a love letter finale, end of the trilogy sort of video for YouTube, where initially I had a Twitch stream where I finally let people ask me questions about my experience with the series, because I'm really no spoilers, no backseating. And so a lot of times people don't get to ask the questions they want to ask until I'm done with the game. So we finally got to sit down and do that. And so of course there's many, many questions, many, many relived moments, many fond recollections. And so I did have to go back through my own YouTube videos and pull specific moments. If you want to do that, be prepared for it to take you a hot second for every single one. I would recommend putting your VODs on YouTube. Just, you don't have to edit them. Slap them up there. Of course, some editing is going to go a long way. I personally use Filmora. It was like $40. And there, you have the program forever. It's going to take you some time to learn. But it's got a lot of cute stuff that you can just download. You don't have to design anything. And you can put cute memes in there, make cute cuts. Just do silly things and have fun. If you feel like it, again, no pressure. You can literally just slap your VODs up there. But that extra editing, making it a more seamless, enjoyable experience is going to take the people who are watching it on YouTube and push them towards your stream. The vast majority of new people I get to my stream found me on YouTube and hopped over. So if you're like career mode for this, just make a VOD channel. Just put them up there. It's not going to hurt you, because you just literally download your stream from Twitch. You could go into your video producer, and on the, like when you look at them all in a stack on the right, just hit the download button and then upload it to YouTube. It's very easy, very accessible. And again, if you want to take the extra time to edit, it will serve you. I actually really enjoy the editing process, and it lets me, because I'm playing RPGs, go back and experience the story and see things I didn't see before and stuff. So it's a good time if that's what you're into. And it's very helpful to have those people move over and populate your Twitch streams. All right.
Okay.
Oh.
So according to our chat, this is the $1 million question. How
Okay.
do you tell a friend you don't want to stream with them?
Now, I'm assuming this friend has asked to either be on your stream or to collab with you. There are several ways you can do this, depending on how confrontational you are as a person and how willing you are to erect some boundaries. You can address this as easy as, hey, I'm not really doing collaborations right now, but thank you so much for your interest. I absolutely love that you want to spend this time with me like this, but it just takes so much extra bandwidth for me to set all that up. So I appreciate the offer, but I'm just going to solo it. Thank you. If you do collabs and you got to find some way to tell an individual out of a group no, you can address it directly. Again, if that's something you're comfortable with. I personally don't mind being a little direct. You just got to be a little mindful and considerate how you say it. If somebody, for instance, is kind of a loose cannon on streams and you usually play games with them, and it's totally fine when you're off camera, but when you're on camera, sometimes they can get a little heated and they can get a little mean. You can be like, hey, I love playing games with you, but sometimes you get a little salty in League when we play. And it's not cool to flame people. And that's not the energy I want to bring to my streams. If you want to work on that flaming thing, absolutely. Let's do it some other time. So you don't like reject outright. You are almost incentivizing them to get better at this flaming problem that they have on League of Legends. That way you can cut them out of being a part of your stream, but you can still play with them afterwards. And you've kind of dangled a little carrot in front of their face. Or, not being that person on League. There's already too many of those anyways. Hopefully that helps. If we've got more specific ones, hit me with them and I'll try to be helpful. All right.
Okay, and I believe this is our last question. How do you approach posting on social media? I have TikTok and have posted a few videos, but I'm not sure how to get more views.
So something I've had to do as a professional for my own mental health is distance myself from being really preoccupied with how well content performs. And you're like, Emma, that's kind of antithetical to this whole process of being successful in streaming. But remember, we're here to do something we love. We're here to have fun and not stress, to be passionate and consistent. A good way to get really stressed out and to make this feel like a chore is to constantly beat yourself over the head with your analytics. I honestly, like, you can take stock of things, right? I'll take stock of, for instance, which streams, typically games, tend to have more people in attendance. For instance, on my end, Mass Effect is so much more popular than Dragon Age. It's a disservice to Dragon Age. We all know that, but that's just the way that it is. There's nothing I can do about that. It's not me. I'm the same person on each game, but Mass Effect resonates with more people than Dragon Age does for whatever reason. And so I don't freak out when I have less people literally interacting in every way possible on Dragon Age. It's just something you accept. You continue to do you continue to do your best. Make sure not to try to grade yourself against other people. That's another way to really be in for a bad time. You make things that you care about. Feel proud of the work that you put in. If you're learning new skill sets, for instance, if you want to pick up Filmora and make those YouTube videos, no one is expecting you to create things that are the quality level of people who've been doing this professionally for 5 years, right? It's just not feasible. We all grow and learn and be better. You're never going to start out as just amazing at something. And it's the same thing with literally all of this, with the social media and streaming itself. Make things that you care about and put them out into the world. If you want to say, hey guys, what do you think about this? And people to give you constructive criticism or feedback, that's valid, right? When you're intentionally doing it. But don't beat yourself up over every single thing. There's so many people, TikTok specifically, because it's a weird beast. And you hear a lot of people are like, oh God, specifically cosplayers. They're like, I don't understand what to do. This is my third new account because I've heard that new accounts generate additional audiences because it puts you in the algorithm different. It's like, yo, just make things that make you happy. Have a good time. Because if you're going to agonize over that, it's not going to be fun anymore. And what's the point of streaming and doing all this if you're not having a good time? So be mindful. You can pay attention to little things. Set boundaries for yourself. Whatever works for you, whatever is healthy for you. Personally, because it's rough being a woman on the internet in the gaming space, I'm sure you all know that. I don't read my YouTube comments. And that's what I have to do. That's the boundary that I have to set for me, for my sanity and mental health. I know another content creator who's a woman on the internet who will only look at her comments on YouTube for the first hour. And after that, because it's usually people who have rung her bell, you know what I mean? Who get notified and who immediately come over and watch the video. So she has a lot less likelihood of having trolls come across it. Whatever works for you, but make sure that you're setting something up to make sure that this stays a fun thing for you to do and it doesn't become a chore, something that erodes your mental health. So to be good to yourself, be mindful about that health because it gets bad if you let it. Okay,
Emma,
sorry, I'm scrolling through these so quick to make sure I didn't miss anything.
I think you got them all.
Oh, perfect. Yay.
And Emma, this was just incredible. Thank you so much for your down to earth insight on this. I don't stream, but I still feel like I learned a lot about just like what it's all about. And it just makes so much sense. Like if you're not liking it, what's the point, right? Yeah. It's just so that comes first. So thank you. Emma, a lot of people are saying thank you in the chat.
Oh, you're so welcome.
Excellent. And do you want to say anything before we sign out?
Sure. Thank you guys so much for dropping by. First of all, I really appreciate each and every one of you who are here and want to like chat with me about this. My DMs are always open if you need anything. We are here as women in this space to empower each other, to lift each other up and support each other. And that's why I'm here doing this, because I want to use what I have learned to be helpful on your journeys. And so like, don't hesitate. It doesn't matter what it is. You can pop into Insta. It can be here on the Gamers app, whatever suits your convenience. Like, hit me up. I'm happy to answer your questions.
Thank you, Emma.
You're super welcome.
All right, everyone, have a great night. Take care.
Bye. Have a good one, y'all.